Hoy there, it's Skyward Shield, and I'm a dumbass. I started recording this 13 minutes in. I noticed that it was not recognizing my microphone when recording.
It's all I.
Ugh, I feel like a dumbass. I'm joined.
No,
I'm
no,
joined by
no.
the great Bill. Say hello, Bill.
Hey,
Bill,
I am.
and you had your fucking nice, your nice talk about the kicking team, and now it's all ruined. It won't be authentic.
Yeah, well,
Everything.
I'm gonna still be downright critical of the Lions.
Yeah,
Still,
but it's literally reruns at this point. You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm gonna still put passion into it. All right, so
Yeah.
yeah,
So
my
yeah, we talked about some good stuff, but it was 13 minutes in. At least it wasn't the whole podcast through. Uh, Still, it's just that 13 minutes already had so much good stuff.
yeah.
Oh well. We had a wonderful week of football, and oh my god, the problem was everything was going swimmingly. This would have been a great week for me if the Cowboys didn't fucking give it up to the Washington football team. I love Colt McCoy. I love watching him through football. But gods, why does every player I like in college have to go to a team I don't care about or just don't like? Like,
and speaking of 13 minutes, that 13 minutes of greatness was more than the amount of greatness the Detroit Lions exhibited in that wake up to Wembley game.
uh,
Just saying.
I woke up.
Just
I
saying.
woke up to Bill. I woke up to a nightmare. I woke up to the old Detroit Lions from 10
I
years ago.
Is this a nightmare? Are they? Feels like Jack the Ripper's gonna come out of the street and rip me apart or something. Holy crap! I mean, it felt like a nightmare. It was a nightmare to watch that first half. That first half was one of the worst halves of football I've seen out of the Detroit Lions in 3 years.
But Bill, I still got it. They still got it. What I've been saying before. They still haven't let anybody score above 24.
Exactly.
That's how you know that they're still got it, because they just can't let them go beyond that 2-4.
The only reason that team won that game was that they played defense that second half out of their mind.
they
Even with the referees being complete jackasses and calling everything against our team, still, we still came out in the end the victor.
Okay. I've said it before, I've said at the beginning, I had my eye on Golden Tate. And for those that don't know, because I just talked about it with Bill, we're going to do this. At the end of the podcast for this year, we're going to have, kind of like how they have award ceremonies for NFL, we're going to have the offensive, defensive MVPs for football talks, as well as the main MVP, the rookie, and the coach. And I've got
Yep.
Golden Tate for the offensive. I mean, Arian Foster is playing on another level again, like how he used to. But Golden Tate, he just did everything I thought he would, and then some. So yeah,
He's single-handedly saving the Lions season. And for that, I appreciate you there, Golden Tate, because really you were the only one that Matt Stafford could even really throw to. And I just don't get why Atlanta didn't even try to triple team him. I just don't get it.
it's
The
like if you
Lions
took
have
out everybody but Megatron and you just let him single covered. You know what I mean?
the Lions have no one else to throw to. Why are you not allowing them to throw it to Golden Tate? Double cover him. Do something.
Bill, I
I
wouldn't
mean, I'll
complain.
take. I'll take it. I mean, if you don't want to play good in coverage against a really good wide receiver, I'm fine with that, especially my own wide receiver.
Well, remember, Bill, a few things. One, he's basically the Starscream to Calvin Johnson's Megatron. He's Starscream, man. Except he won't betray us in the end. I hope not. I knock on wood as I say that. And two, that they're going up against the second worst defense in the league in what they are in the worst division in the league this year. And I would go so far as to say it's going to be the worst league or the worst division in the history of the league.
I'll put it this way: I feel like this division will probably be the worst one of this century.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's going to be the worst ever.
It could very possibly under 500 team could very possibly win this division,
Oh,
and it would not surprise me because tonight's game,
it's going to be underway in a couple hours, but we're recording
they're
before that.
they're both under 500 going into this game, and the Panthers are in first place. So
Because of that tie.
yeah, yeah. I mean, 500 right now will get you first place in this division, and a 1-7 team is in playoff contention. That's when you know your division sucks.
That's when your division is trash. Really, I'll be honest, I think the Saints should have been leading this because the Lions should have beat the Panthers. After
The
seeing
Lions-
how bad the Panthers are now. I mean, I'll praise them that they gave, like, Seattle, they dominated the field for a time, but, Russell
Yeah.
Wilson just got his shit together.
I'll put it this way: the Carolina Panthers defense finally showed up against the Seahawks.
But I still think it's too little too late. You've had so many games you could have won, like the Bengals. I mean, imagine them going to the Bengals' place and knocking them off. That's a statement game right there, and they just put it to a tie. Meh.
Right. But getting back to our game,
Let's get to the kicker. You
best-
share it.
the best part of that game was the last minute of that game. All right. Notwithstanding that, we had the best penalty ever called against the Detroit Lions to get us a re-kick to win the game. After Matt Prater missed the field goal, he got to make the field goal. But I am going to call out the Detroit Lions long snapper to actually snap the football to the chest of the holder. Do not snap it squibbing near the ground. That way the holder has to bend and grab the football. Get it to his chest like a normal long snapper does. So that way the long snapper the holder can put it down on the ground, get the laces of the football out, and so that way the kicker can kick a straight field goal. This is consistent. I've noticed the last few weeks, the long snapper's snapping really low. And every time that he snaps low, Prater's been missing or hooking kicks and hitting uprights. Get the ball to the guy's chest. That way he can go in the normal motion that you have practiced hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times.
Well, that's why I said in the last attempt that I think Prater's good. I mean, he was with the Broncos, and they were a great team. And he made some good kicks with them. So I think maybe it's him being a little rusty, but also that, and what I said before was the field was absolute trash. And how you said it's just not meant for football.
Right. It's meant for soccer. And the wear and tear on the field, you don't typically have a lot of players, falling on the turf unless they're flopping on the ground and trying to get a yellow card. But that's a story. That's a story for another time.
Bill, you don't know how many gifs I could find about people or players purposely tripping to cause a yellow card.
I have a video for you.
Oh God.
That you'll enjoy after this recording. You might even want to put it into the video. Who knows? Because it's pretty hilarious. But anyway.
But still, let's go back to the other thing that we were talking about to you before. Right? This was where I realized that the video wasn't picking up my voice. So this should have been a tied game. This shouldn't have been 21-19. This should have been 21-21. Matt Ryan would have been playing to get a score to win, and he would have got picked off because I know they were really putting the pressure and the squeeze on him. And
right.
You see how many turnovers they caused? Every time Matt Ryan got sacked, it was like it was half the chance of the ball coming out. It came out twice in a row, and he still recovered it. Or not him, but there was just an Atlanta Falcons offensive lineman conveniently placed to look at the ball.
I mean, seriously, a couple of those fat guys fell on the football and it probably disappeared inside their chest. I mean, but overall, I feel like had it been a tie, the whole game would have changed.
That's what. Yeah, it would have
And
changed. 'Cause like I said, Ryan would have been playing to win, not trying to milk the clock.
the, the another thing I'll say is thank you to the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons for throwing the football constantly and not trying to run out the clock. Thank you to you for doing that because consistent drops is always a good thing.
And don't forget, thank you, Julio Jones, for coming back just to drop the most important pass of the day.
Exactly.
They're not getting anything good going their way. I mean, at least the Houston Texans, who were right next to them for worst team last year, have won more games, and most of their games have been winnable.
What's crazy is to think that the Atlanta Falcons were one play away from going to the Super Bowl, and now they can barely win a football game.
I know. I mean, I thought they'd get a better record. I thought they would have at least won against the Bears. I thought they would have laid down the law on the Bears. Not as much as the Patriots murdered. They went on bear hunting season, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to talk about that already.
Speaking of hunting season,
I'm really feeling it, Bill. But okay, there's got one. What?
Speaking of hunting season,
What do you got?
J.J. Watt.
Turn down for what?
Was on the prowl.
J.J. Watt getting that selfie. Wrapped up. Guess who? J.J. Watt.
Oh man.
Oh God, he did not like that. He was taking selfies. I mean, I could understand. I would have understood if the guy wanted a picture. He's like, it's my first football game. Want to commemorate that? That makes sense. But dude, you don't need to take 20 selfies.
Right.
But still, it was Houston at the Tennessee Titans. And my God, I loved that. That is how the Texans should play. Arian Foster just giving them not one, not two, but 3 touchdown punches and bows of respect. Thank you, Foster. Everyone talks about their DeMarco Murray, but Foster is right there next to him.
Oh man. I'll put it this way. The Tennessee Titans focus on your job at hand. You are single-handedly one of the worst teams in the NFL. And you're more worried about taking photos for the game that you're preparing for than actually respecting your opponent. This isn't college where you can just throw against every team. This is the NFL. And J.J. Watt was all in Zach Mettenberger's grill. Everyone was in his grill.
You know what's the funny thing, though?
What?
The Titans got more sacks than Houston did. By 1. But still, the first half, the defense wrecked Fitzpatrick. Like, there was one guy, I think number 99 for them, or 90. He said, I'm going to get you 3 times. And he got him 4 times. They got him 4 times. It's like, my problem was that the offensive line didn't get their shit together until the second half. But, see what I mean? Like, you shouldn't let Fitzpatrick get roughed up so much because you know what it leads to. Because there were 2 or 3 times where I think Fitzpatrick should have turned the ball over. Yet, it didn't.
And that's always a good thing. Ryan Fitzpatrick played a really clean game for him.
I know, but to me, I'm still thinking, some of his passes were great, but really, it's those 2 chances where they nearly caught the ball, where they tipped it, and it could have fell in one of their hands. That's why I'm saying I'm being a little hard on him still. Like, be careful with where you throw the ball.
Right.
Because, oh God, those were some worrying things, and if they caught them, they could have converted into some good. They were in some good positions.
I really feel like the Houston Texans are an 8-8 team. It really looks like Houston's an 8-8 team.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm okay with that. Anything's better than 2-14 at this point. But they've got
Right.
more winnable games. That I mean, they're going to beat the Titans again.
And right now I'm drinking some Gatorade that has J.J. Watt on the
Is,
cover art
is
here.
that why you wanted to talk about the Texans? Because really, I don't think we talked about Golden Tate and that holding call. But it's okay.
Oh, that holding call. The refs were a joke. That's the main thing you gotta. The literally Golden Tate was held out of the end zone for a 2-point conversion that would have tied the game, and I mean that's par for the course for those referees. But the Houston Texans blowing out the Tennessee Titans like they did.
The attempt.
I,
Oh my God! I missed a good joke here. I could have made an Attack on Titan joke. Oh well, I would have. I'll insert it for the next game. It's a show. It's a show.
yeah,
It's an
yeah.
it's an anime.
It's
But
an
yeah.
anime, yeah. I knew it was an anime. I don't watch animes, so
That's fine. That's fine. But I just say like the opening is just so fucking catchy. If you heard it, it goes with everything. I could make a whole music video with that song playing with J.J. Watt getting after everybody.
oh man.
But anyway, yeah. So let's talk stats here. Watt, 2 sacks, one of them a forced fumble, 6 tackles. No, it's not 6 tackles. 3 tackles or 2, and a blocked pass. I think
And-
that's a good day for Watt.
And just think, that's without Jadeveon.
No, Clowney was there. Clowney
Oh,
only
what?
got 1 tackle, but everybody's still a little disappointed. But did they watch the game?
What's there to be disappointed about Jadeveon Clowney? That's only his second game in the NFL.
Yeah, but you wanna know what's crazy? I saw people double or triple teaming him. And that's why Watt got sacked or got some sacks because they weren't focused on him. There were
Exactly.
times where Clowney was close to getting, he was breathing down his neck, Mettenberger's neck, just as much as Watt. He just didn't get there because there was 2 defenders there pushing him away.
Jadeveon is a matchup nightmare, and you have 2 matchup nightmares on the same team, and they can line up next to one another.
You got Watt.
That is what's scary.
You got Watt who goes everywhere. You'll never know where he is. You can't just say, okay, right tackle, watch out for him. No, it's everybody. He goes left, right, middle. And then you got Merciless, who I think is playing better. I like Merciless too. And you have now Clowney. Those 3, they're like the defensive triplets to me for the team that are just going to storm in on the quarterback. And, it's a good thing they're playing the Eagles this year because Nick Foles, he has not gone through the rite of passage to be an NFL quarterback. If you're going to be an NFL quarterback, you must get sacked by J.J. Watt. No one's safe from him. You may as well accept it.
Oh man.
That's next week's game. The other thing I want to take out of this, it was pretty much Foster the whole way through, which is okay, but I still wanted to see a little more on Andre Johnson. But I think it's Red Day. That's when Andre Johnson does well next week. I can't see it, but I mean, Andre Johnson isn't the most mobile one anymore, but still, he's the one. He's kind of feeling like a tight end right now. He's always going to catch the ball most of the time. Catch it, stay there.
I'll put it this way. The more that they use Arian Foster like they used them in that Tennessee game, the more they'll win. So,
All those touchdowns were his, too, mind you.
exactly. The more they use him like that, in that sort of capacity, some bubble screens with Arian Foster. Let Ryan Fitzpatrick get some confidence in his arm. And then when you start really running the football and using bubble screens, they will bring people up to the line of scrimmage, and then you play action pass and just throw a bomb to either DeAndre or Andre Johnson.
Yep. And I'm hoping Andre Johnson gets 2 touchdowns this next week, because I want him to score a lot, because it's only a matter of time before he retires, so it's good for him to get a few more touchdowns, but
It's always a treat to watch future Hall of Famers play. That
Exactly. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's breaking records still. Even if he's silently breaking records. Even if he's not getting the touchdowns, he's still getting the yards. You know what I mean?
Andre is going to go to the Hall of Fame, I feel, and uh,
It seems you just got to be Johnson to get in at this point. I don't know.
I mean, if you got Arian Foster and you leave, if you get Ryan Fitzpatrick really believing in himself, then he starts pulling out those really nasty, really good throws.
Those laser throws like with Hopkins at the Bills game. But
exactly.
the other thing to take away is that, Arian Foster has nothing to worry about when he has to take a rest because Blue is doing great. I mean, he's not getting those touchdowns like Foster, not yet. He will when he starts to get more time and when he fully replaces Foster. But I think Blue is a great pick for them, a 6th round pick, I believe. He's showing to be a good backup running back. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because right now the attention. The what?
It was a wise decision to get rid of Ben Tate.
Yeah, because Ben Tate didn't want to stay anyway. You know what I mean? You may as well get somebody who wants to stay. And, he's a better fit for the Browns, and that's why they're doing better, because Ben Tate he was great when he was with the Texans when they didn't have Foster. But he's a better fit with the Browns, in my opinion. But, oh, God, I can't wait to talk about the Browns sometime soon. But, yeah. So, let's go. Anything else to take away? Because I think now that Clowney's getting more and more healthy, I think the Eagles are going to have to be a little more wary. The what?
I feel the defense will be better. I feel the offense will be better. I feel like they'll be a mediocre to semi-good mediocre team,
Well, because to me, at worst, they're going to go 7-9.
Yeah. And
then at best, 10-6. But to get in the playoffs, it seems you might have to be 12-4 or 13-3 for a wild card spot. The AFC has 11 winning teams. And remember, there are 32 teams total, 16 in each.
Yep.
Only 5 teams are failing, and that's technically the Texans, though they're a tie record, but it's still not a winning. Going in a halfway point. So, yeah, this shows. I'm predicting the AFC is going to win the Super Bowl, no matter who goes, 3 or 2 years in a row.
Right.
But anyway, so let's go to one of those winning AFC teams. Bill. Oh, it's like there's always Gronk smash. I am Gronk. He is the Guardians of New England with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Man. Guardians of the Galaxy New England edition. Gronk. Oh my God.
I just feel this game's gonna be easy to talk about because really it was over in a half.
Oh my God. He fought Jay Cutler. I'm not even saying things are really against him. I think everything's just collapsing there. I don't think it's one guy in general. I think everybody.
I feel the whole team is just.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the whole team is just stopped listening to their head coach. I feel like that team is stopped listening to each other.
Exactly. That team has a meltdown.
That team has no leadership. You've got a hot-head at quarterback. You have a multiple personality wide receiver. Literally.
Yeah.
He got treated for it. Then you got... it's just... What? You have no defense. The defense is all injured. You don't have Charles Tillman. You don't have Brian Urlacher,
Bill,
who you
ran
out onto the street.
I gotta stop you there, Bill. When you said a defensive player got injured, it seems to be a trend now in the NFC North where they do something with their crotch and they injure themselves.
Yeah, don't hop into the air and rip up your knee. Please, don't pull a Stephen Tulloch of the Lions.
Because now the Bears listen and it's like, okay, who's next, Vikings or Green Bay?
But overall, the corner that got hurt, that wasn't him jumping up into the air. He just got injured for the season. He tore his ACL in a different way. He was running down the field.
I thought it was the one he did the crotch thing, like how the other one did.
No. I have no idea, but
I saw that happen. I was like, oh, you idiot.
Charles Tillman not in the game. You have a bunch of defenders that are injured. You got a bunch of second and third stringers in your defense. You're not going to play. You need to score 40 to even have a hope of winning a game. And I feel the Chicago offense is not built to come from behind. Even that's the weird thing to say. They're built to be.
They're built to stay consistently with them. That's just how I saw it last year. Like
They're
the
built to. They're built to play decent defense, where they're right in the game, so that way they can run the football with Matt Forte or throw the football to. When you're consistently down 14-0, you're not worried about Matt Forte. Really, what you done? Oh, are they gonna run the football down 14-0, 21-0? No. You become one-dimensional and you start throwing the football all over the place. And what you do is just sit back and just kill them.
And it's a shame because I was expecting this to be a very tight race in the NFC North. That's not to say it's not interesting because the Lions. I mean, if they didn't lose to the Bills, they'd be the best. They have the best rank next to the Broncos. Like the best win-loss, I should say.
Exactly. But the best performance between two players this week, I feel, would be Brady and Gronk.
I won't be surprised if Denver double teams Gronk.
They double team Gronk. They can triple team Gronk. I still think Brady will throw it to him,
and he'll still catch it. Bill, let me tell you one thing. I heard this in like some videos from the NFL, but I agree with it. The newest edition, I don't know if people still collect these, but football cards with Gronk are gonna have a Chicago Bear struggling to catch him.
Exactly. I mean that tells you another thing. When the Chicago Bears cannot outrun a 6'8" guy that's lumbering down the field, that's 260 pounds, and you're a corner, and you can't catch a 6'8", 280-pound tight end. Are you kidding?
Oh God, that's a question everything in Chicago. I think Chicago is just gonna be the Houston Texans this year. They just have a complete meltdown. But at least with the Texans, most of their games, they were winnable. They were within a touchdown, and they still lost.
The Bears are going to be. Oh my God, that team! I would not want to be on that team in the coming weeks because Chicago doesn't have the easiest schedule.
They don't even have the patience.
They get the Packers, I think, twice, and the Lions again.
Once, remember? They've already played them.
Okay.
They hosted them, and they couldn't win that. That shows you, they're not going.
And the Lions get them on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking for...
I feel the Bears are going to get embarrassed on Thanksgiving.
Oh.
But that's for a different time.
Speaking of the Lions, Bill, next week, they're starting to air more Lions games here. I'm going to watch the Lions host the Dolphins.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm so happy. And then I'm probably going to see the Arizona Cardinals against them. It's going to be like America's Game of the Week on Fox. But just going back to the Patriots, Brady has been playing too good. It's incredible, and I love it. And I'm looking forward to what I see as a possible AFC Championship rematch. And if Brady wants to be the number one seed, he has to knock off the Broncos. He can't lose to them this time.
Oh, that game is going to be quite the game.
I've got, you know who I've got for my pick, but we'll get to that later. But Brady, great job. The only thing I would have given, if I could rate this thing like the NFL report card, I'd give them an A+. But the only problem is, like from the video, you didn't shut them out to just that touchdown or two. You let them get some points.
Right, but the Patriots defense, I think, pulled all their starters.
I know, and people were confusing them and saying, oh, Chicago's going to run through because they lost this one guy. It's like, no. Bill Belichick finds ways to compensate for losses of players. Ridley's gone? No problem. This guy's gone? No problem. You could take... They're good. Bill Belichick, we were saying in our first ever podcast, which I actually rewatched to look at the picks, see what has changed.
Oh, man.
And yeah, Bill Belichick, Hall of Fame coach, because this guy knows how to adjust. Just when you think you've got them figured out, bam, here they are, taking you out 51 points. You're like, holy shit, where did those 51 points come from? Just
The scariest thing about the Patriots is that they haven't even played their best football yet.
exactly. This was their best I've seen in a long time. This could have been a shutout. If this was a shutout, gods, would everybody just turn their heads to the Patriots? Scary, but I mean, even so, this is still pretty much a shutout virtually. But
Right. I mean,
it's great.
the first half, after the first half, I mean, literally the Patriots could pulled all their starters after the end of the first half. They played them into the third quarter, and really the Bears put all their points up in the fourth quarter when the Patriots were like, yeah, let's not get any of our people injured anymore.
It's smart. It's like, why not? You've already got this in the bag. But still, if they could have just shut them out to a touchdown, it would have been a bigger statement. But even so, it's still 51-23. It's a big difference. But you know what I mean. Same thing with the Texans. You shouldn't have let Mettenberger score a touchdown.
It was a beatdown, and really, it was a really cut and dry beatdown. I saw this beatdown coming a mile away.
I knew they were going to win, but I didn't think it'd be this much of a one-sided shootout.
Tom Brady against a terrible defense. I'll take Tom Brady every day of the week.
It's a shootout, but like the guy who's also like Chicago didn't even have the bullets in the damn gun.
I mean, really, they went into a gunfight with a butter knife and some butter.
Ugh,
And they were flinging butter at people, not even trying to stab people.
it's terrible. But yeah,
With a butter knife.
Patriots laid down the law. And you know what, Bill? This is such a good thing. Can we just not talk about Dallas?
They went RoboCop on their ass, and I mean, seriously, they took no prisoners. They just laid down the law, but we unfortunately do have to talk about your Dallas Cowboys unless you don't want to talk about them.
I don't, because I don't know much. All I know is that they didn't run DeMarco Murray in overtime. With what? You're not under the clock. You're not pressured by the clock. You have...
If DeMarco Murray runs in that football game on 2nd and 2 or 3rd and 2, you know you have to go for it on 4th down. It's 2nd and 2. Either throw the football on 2nd down and run on 3rd down, or run on 2nd down, run on 3rd down, and pass on 4th down.
Could have ran.
You only have 2 yards that you need.
That was the...
I don't get it.
This is exactly the same thing like with when Houston was there. 3rd and 2. Should have ran it with Foster because Foster was just skewering the Dallas defense. That, in my opinion, I know I'm a fan of Houston, but really that game was winnable and the Dallas fans know it.
All they needed to do, all Dallas needed to do is get into field goal range and tie that game back up, because then it's sudden death after that.
And really, you could have gotten at the 50-yard line, and I bet you Dan Bailey could have made it, because I've got that much confidence in that kid.
Dan Bailey is an amazing kicker. You have an amazing kicker. You have an amazing stud of a freaking running back. You have Tony Romo, who got injured and came back.
And you've got Dez.
You got Dez Bryant. You have the best offensive line in football. That is one of the best run blocking lines in football. And
I just don't see what they did.
The other thing that was killing the Cowboys was blitz after blitz after blitz after blitz. They were sending all-out blitzes constantly after the Dallas Cowboys.
And it,
Change it up. Change it up. Change your offense. Get the ball out of your hands faster. You can't.
cause
If you're getting blitzed every down, that means, guess what? There's an open area in that zone that you can just find someone in.
it
Get it out of your hands faster.
it was terrible. Ugh.
That was that game, basically in a nutshell.
It just didn't run the football enough. It's the same case when Houston was there. You ran it in overtime, you would have won. I have no doubt about that. But really, they shouldn't have been put in that position anyway.
If there's easy screen passes that just trickle out of the backfield that you could have sent out that would have beat that blitz. And for the life of me, I don't know why Dallas wasn't doing it.
But it's okay. I mean, like I said, this week would have been swimmingly well done if they just won.
Yeah.
But, it's okay.
So,
I mean, I don't think Dallas is eliminated for you. This is just one game. I mean, I'm not going to be the one that jumps out of the bandwagon yet. Because, I mean, I expected them to just win this game and lose to Arizona. But now they know they have to beat Arizona, so...
yeah, this is a must-win game. But we'll get to that later on picks.
Okay, so anything else to note from the rest of this week before we move on to our subject? Because the only thing I can tell you... Roethlisberger missed out on making history. But, he's still, it's a win. He wanted the win, and that's understandable.
He's the only quarterback in history to have 2 500-yard games.
Oh, my God. You see, he could have done it. And then he could have broken the record for most yards of all time.
Yeah, but
I mean, it's understandable. You want the win more.
To be fair, if he completed a few other passes in that game, that record would have been his.
I know, that's what I'm saying, dude. You should have gone for it. But you know what? I did not. We all thought the Colts were going to go to Pittsburgh and do that to them.
I didn't see the Colts defense falling apart like that against Ben Roethlisberger.
How did he know how to pick them apart? That's what I want to know. How did you figure it out in a week?
I just feel like I feel like the Colts came out really dead and bland.
I won't lie. Luck's throws were still good. I think it's not him that's the problem. The defense was just... They figured out the defense. They cracked the code. Hey, Dallas, you might want to pay Pittsburgh to know that knowledge, because you're going to need it.
I'll put it this way. I feel like Indy's defense was coming off such a high that they took the Pittsburgh Steelers for granted, and the Steelers just annihilated them.
And you're okay with that? Or what?
I mean...
It makes the playoffs run more interesting.
It's gonna make this entire season more interesting because not many weeks in a regular season where you have a couple 50-point games.
2 50-point games in a single week, though.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, that's what makes the game more fun.
And I feel that this week we could have a few more.
I think everyone wants now. I think people want Indianapolis to play Pittsburgh again more than them playing Denver. Just because of that, because it's like, oh, the Indy fans are still upset about that. Like, oh, I want a rematch, but
really, that's the future of the NFL. Those 51 to 35 games.
I mean, who knows? They could host them in a wild card match.
Yep.
But I mean, because of that loss, and if the Patriots beat the Colts, which I believe they will, then they're probably going to be a third seed. Because if not, it's really between the Colts and the Patriots for the second seed. Because Broncos more than likely getting the first. But yeah.
Right.
So there's that, and I think that's really the only game I can think that's worth talking about, aside from Buffalo beating our expectations too.
I don't even want to get in that.
Like, because Geno Smith was trash? I don't know.
Geno Smith. I mean, it's two bad football teams going after one another.
Yeah, but
And
hey,
I'm
you got to
I'm just saying that
Rex
I'm
Ryan
just saying that
cried.
Buffalo's bad because of
Jim Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz. If Jim Schwartz was in there, I'd be singing Buffalo's praises to the end of days.
But I'm just so proud of Sammy Watkins. He's my rookie of the year so far. But yeah, I mean, Kyle Orton just changed everything for them. It's hard to believe.
And at the end of the year, I'm gonna give the douchebag of the year award.
Jim Schwartz.
Jim Schwartz
Oh,
is
fun-
currently the front
a
runner.
fun thing to tell you. The London game, there were two guys cosplaying as the Ryan brothers.
Good. Oh man.
But okay,
Even in London, they hate the Ryan brothers.
it's still funny to it's so cool how they cosplay them to really good detail. But anyway, let's go to our subject of the week. This week's subject is the running game back? For me, why I ask this to myself and to Bill is because I've noticed that the past few years, running game was never really an issue or never a factor as much as it's always been that throw the ball deep into the 20 and their side and get the touchdown. You know what I mean? It's always been about the pass because everybody likes to see that ball go in midair and just see if it gets into there to hit to the player's hands or it's picked off or it just misses. The crowd eats that shit up. I mean, even I do. We both do.
Right.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that. But really, I think the run game is just as important as the pass. Because how did you say it, Bill, earlier? With like, if they always had one running game or one running player, and if you didn't have it, you're screwed.
If you didn't have one dominant running back, you were pretty much in bad shape. If you think of the better teams of the 1990s, Buffalo Bills made 4 straight Super Bowls, had a dominant running back,
Lost
Thurman
them all.
Thomas. They lost them all, but they still made 4 Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah.
If you think of the dynasty of the 90s, running back was Emmitt Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. If you think of the late 90s, early 2000s, if you think of the Patriots, they had a really good running back in Corey Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
Every dynasty has had a good running back, and without the running backs, we have noticed. Look at the league now. The team with the best running back last year, Marshawn Lynch of the Seattle Seahawks, won the Super
now
Bowl.
terrible now. They're being questioned by everybody because Marshawn Lynch isn't running as much.
Correct. The running back is, I feel, a dying position, but I feel it's also one of the most important positions. But I feel what's killing the running back position is this belief system that running backs are fragile. Every position on the NFL football field is fragile.
If you want to be real, linemen from both sides should technically be the most fragile, because out of every one of them, they make the most contact. They always do. When do they not?
Exactly. There's this. They always say that the running back shelf life is to 32, 33, and then they start slowing down, and injuries start piling up. Look at some of the running backs around the league. Emmitt Smith ran till he was 40.
Yep.
He was a number 1 running back. These committees that they're doing now are overtaking stuff, and in a way, it's teaching players how not to get injured. They're trying to preserve them to not get injured. But it's actually, I feel like it's having the opposite effect, in that they're getting injured more. If you look at history, Emmitt Smith, he had like 1 season where he was really hurt. Barry Sanders, he wasn't really hurt too much. You look at Thurman Thomas, not hurt too much. Single running backs, Marshawn Lynch, not hurt, not not in a committee, not doing that sort of stuff. I feel that you're setting yourself up for failure in these committees, and I feel that's part of the reason why the downfall of the running back is happening right now.
And we need to find a way to change that because I think running backs are essential. Because I think they're getting this breath of life, especially if another team wins a game because of running backs, or more teams that run the football make the playoffs. Because I think most people agree that most people are agreeing, at least at this point. I don't mean that it will happen. That the Cowboys will make the playoffs either as a wild card or the division.
Okay.
And why is that? Who's the first player they talk about that isn't the quarterback?
DeMarco Murray.
Exactly.
DeMarco Murray. If he does not run that football like he's been running that football, without DeMarco Murray, the Dallas Cowboys are a 4-12 team.
Imagine if he can go the whole season with over 100 yards each game. We were just talking about how he barely broke the record of 6. Imagine every game.
The NFL record is 14 in a row.
Shit.
And that's Barry Sanders,
dude,
in the mid 1990s.
Oh God.
For the Detroit Lions.
You see, that is what we would call God tier for running backs.
That he had a streak where he had over 100 yards for 14 straight. He had a 2,000-yard season that year.
God, that's incredible. But
not many running backs have 2,000-yard seasons.
In this case, it's a question of can DeMarco Murray be healthy, because he's never finished a season entirely.
Now think of it this way: the Dallas Cowboys and DeMarco Murray. DeMarco's only 900-something yards away from a 2,000-yard season.
Already?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. He's going there, man.
He has 1,054 yards already.
And they haven't even reached their bye.
That is correct. They have. We are.
Well, we're 9 weeks.
They've played 8 games, so this is week 9. They have
barely
9,
capped
10,
the goal.
11, 12, 13,
Like they're
14.
barely halfway done.
They have 8 more games.
Yeah.
And DeMarco Murray needs 900 yards. So if he averages 100 yards or more for the rest of the year, he has a 2,000-yard season.
That basically involves him either tying for or breaking the record.
Exactly. Or if he has a 200-yard game, he's ahead of pace.
Mm-hmm.
He's on pace
I think he's going to get a 200-yard game, and I think it's Jacksonville.
He's on pace to break Eric Dickerson's single-season record for rushing yards in a single season, which is 2,105.
Son of a bitch, that's a lot. But damn. But
overall, I feel like the running back position has been languishing and has been forgotten.
That sucks.
And I feel it's the best. It's most running backs in college are getting converted to wide receivers because of their skill set, juke moves, moving around. The running back is the most important position on the field, and what happens at the end of the game? You need to run the football to eat the clock. What has been killing the Philadelphia Eagles?
I'll be honest, there are some games I think they could have lost. I think the Rams could have beat them, and that would have been crazy and unheard of.
But if you think about the Philadelphia Eagles, they cannot run the football.
Even though they have one of the best.
Games.
They have one of the best runners. They have LaShawn McCoy, who's been quiet.
Exactly.
For the wrong reasons.
They can't run the football to end games. They just don't. They don't do it. The league is such a pass-happy league. Look at the reason why the Falcons lost to the Lions last week.
Because they kept throwing it. And
they kept throwing the football. Look at why Dallas lost to who did they play against?
The Washington football team.
The Washington football team. Look at why they lost. They didn't run the football.
Exactly, and that's such a problem. But then you have other teams who run the football, and they have better odds of winning. I mean, I know I'm saying Houston a lot, but they've had games where they could have won. They should, to me, they should have beat Dallas. I don't know about the Giants because, I mean, that's when he wasn't there.
I feel that
But
there's a lack of talent at the running back position, and that
that's going to kill it.
maybe it's killing it right now. And really, if you think of it, 10, 15 years ago, if you think about star players, you would think running backs. You would think Adrian Peterson. You would think Emmitt Smith. You would think Barry
I
Sanders.
want to think
You
of
wouldn't
Peterson
think
now.
you wouldn't think quarterbacks. You would. I mean, if you thought star players, you would think a bunch of running backs, a few wide receivers, and a few quarterbacks. Nowadays, it's
Quarterback.
Tony Romo.
Peyton.
It's Peyton Manning.
Tom Brady.
It's Tom Brady. It's Andrew
Aaron
Luck.
Rodgers. Drew Brees.
Aaron Rodgers.
Colin Kaepernick.
Drew Brees, Kaepernick.
That's
Look
that's
at it.
crazy.
It's all quarterbacks.
How many teams have non-quarterbacks as their icons? The only one that comes to mind is Houston with J.J. Watt.
J.J. Watt and Arian Foster.
They're the more iconic. Even with Matt Schaub, it was always Watt. Turned down for Watt now, pretty much. And what other teams don't have it? I mean, you might say Seattle with Richard Sherman, but everybody still knows Russell Wilson.
It's Russell
Before
Wilson.
the Super Bowl,
and
it would have been Sherman, but now it's Wilson again.
it's Wilson and maybe Beast Mode.
Beast mode.
But
no,
I don't-
not anymore.
And even think about it this way. Look at after this season. I feel Marshawn Lynch will not be re-signed by the Seattle
And
Seahawks.
he's gonna go to
Because
someone
he's-
else who needs him.
But he's 29, 30 years old, and they feel he's old for a running back, and they're going to get rid of him.
That's the sad part. And they're just gonna cling to Russell Wilson to run, basically turn him into Cam Newton. And that's my problem with Cam, because yeah, he's a quarterback that can run, but you shouldn't run too much. You know what I mean?
The running quarterback is one thing that's killing the running back position.
Yeah, because they just
The
make you
other
do
th-
everything.
The other thing is the lack of a fullback. The fullback position, most NFL teams do not carry a fullback. Typically, fullbacks in the olden days, you would run in a thing called the power I formation, which is it goes center, then quarterback, and then behind him in like an I formation is the fullback and then the running back. You hand off the ball to the running back. The fullback is the running back's blocker.
Yeah, it's like I remember seeing those before. It's like, why don't they do it? It's basically a running back that guards the running back.
Exactly. It's a huge.
It's like a
Typically, it's a.
think of it like in Smash Brothers, the back shield.
Exactly. The fullback is a typical 6'2" to 6'4" running back. That's typically 240 and runs full steam into a linebacker or someone. There's sometimes I'm watching. You know why the Philadelphia Eagles are not running the ball really well with LaShawn McCoy, one of the best running backs?
Why?
There's no one in the backfield to protect him. So when he's getting the ball handed off to him, it's all up to him to find the hole, jump through the hole, and if there's no hole, then you're not going anywhere.
That's the difference between him and DeMarco Murray. The offensive line is literally catered to him. They make the holes for him. Same with the Texans. I mean, not all the time, but they usually find a way to create some gap, and he takes advantage of it.
And typically the Texans run out of the power I with you guys don't have a fullback, but you guys have a big guy that will run in front of Arian Foster and kick out.
I've seen Derek Graham be turned into more of the as helping with the line sometimes. Not as much, but you know what I mean. They usually gets, like, let's be real, Graham hasn't been getting as much throws because they mostly put him to the line.
Yep. So my overall thoughts of the running back situation in the NFL is I think it's essential but I think it's dying, and that the the actual position is becoming less and less coveted, even though it's even more important than it's ever been.
Well, for me, my overall opinion is that
It's a weird paradox.
yeah, that's crazy, and that's what makes it so complicated. How do we tackle this? It's like trying to tackle a human rights issue or something. Oh no, Tumblr's coming for me. Oh well, but anyway, my overall thoughts are basically, I think if more teams with running backs, especially if they're older, start to win, like win playoffs, win Super Bowls, then we might see it. But if that doesn't happen, your thoughts might come true, and that just scares me. Because I like to see someone run from the line of scrimmage, breaking a bunch of tackles. Like, did you see Foster getting pulled back by three defensive linemen, and he still got the first down? That is how I always envision a running back to be. But we're not going to get that if this keeps up. It's all let's throw, let's throw, let's throw.
That's why I always said, and I'll leave this discussion with the running backs on this note. I feel that there's going to be two unbreakable records. And it's going to be Peyton Manning's touchdown record, and it's going to be Emmitt Smith's career yardage number.
Probably, yeah. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. So on that note, let's get to the picks, because I have something to say about the Eagles game, but we'll get to the picks. So, Bill, start us off with, we already said our Thursday night game, which is underway in about an hour. So, let's start with Sunday.
Okay, Sunday, 1 o'clock, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Cleveland Browns.
You sound like a guy from the chicken commercial, and that's from a local fried chicken place that's like 10 miles away from me in the city.
Oh damn!
It's just that last part, but yeah. So I've got the Browns. Brian Hoyer's gonna do good enough here, but win to me, even though it looked like they beat the Raiders easily. I mean, for a time it was close. But so I've got the Browns, but I don't think it'll be a pretty win.
I have the Cleveland Browns winning in Cleveland. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just god awful.
But then again, isn't the whole division god awful there?
They still could make the playoffs, even going 4-12.
That's so sad.
At the rate that they're going.
That's sad.
I mean, that's pretty pathetic if you really think about it. Next up, the Arizona Cardinals at the Dallas Cowboys.
This is a must-win for both of them. So I think this is a potential playoff match. Because, I mean, last week's was too, but this one is also back-to-back potential NFC playoff matches. I'm down with that, but it depends. If Romo comes out and he's playing at near full capacity, then I got the Cowboys for my upset of the week. But if not, even with DeMarco Murray, they still got to know how to pass the ball. It's not that I don't trust the backup. I just think that the Cardinals' defense is going to really put the pressure on the backup. Whereas Romo could handle it a little bit better. Otherwise the Cardinals win, but it just depends.
I feel that I really feel like the Arizona Cardinals have a dynamic weapon that the Cowboys haven't really seen fully unleashed on tape yet this year. And that's Andre Ellington, and he is a running back. I feel that if he gets going, the Cowboys are in trouble, and the Cardinals have a better defense, and I'm just going to say the Cardinals.
Oh, that's understandable.
Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Houston Texans.
Okay, Bill, tell me what you said about the problem with LaShawn McCoy and the Eagles. I want you to state it for me.
LaShawn McCoy and the Eagles, that they run out of a single back formation, and that literally there's no one blocking for them. So literally, if you can set the edge, you're in trouble.
That's going to happen. It's going to bite them in the ass sooner or later. I know I would say the Eagles win, but you know what? I think it's time for an actual upset. I've got the Texans because I've noticed that because they don't run the ball, they keep giving the other side a chance. It was with the Cardinals, it was with the Rams. You shouldn't have let the Rams catch up if you ran the football more. But they didn't. And Foster is one of the best running backs next to DeMarco Murray. I think that's going to be the Achilles heel to them. They're going to realize that, yeah, we need to run the ball when we're in the lead. I've got the Texans, but I expect turnovers on both sides.
I expect a turnover fest, but I feel like the Eagles are going to somehow pull out a victory like they've been doing the entire year. I just feel like if you give Nick Foles the football with 2 minutes left, he's going to be able to drive down the field really fast because that's how their offense
Yeah, they're
works.
so fast. I could have gone more on this, but I don't want to keep I don't want to keep talking and holding you back for so long.
Next up is the New York Jets at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh God, Chiefs are just gonna have another field day. I've got the Chiefs with this. It's just, I mean, Michael Vick is going to be a better relief start than that, but he's just fumbling the ball too much. If he can get better grip of the ball, I think he can start. They can at least put up a good fight. I've got the Chiefs.
You know, I felt like the count with Geno Smith's, picks situation. He's got 1 interception. I mean, seriously, that's how I felt watching that game. So this week, I am predicting the Chiefs win when the Jets give away 8 turnovers, 1 for each of their losses, including the one that they're going to lose.
Oh man, Bill, that's terrible.
I'm such a jerk. Next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh man, Bengals got this cat fight. Another cat fight. There are so many cat and bird fights. I can't handle it. The Bengals are going to become king of the jungle, though I wouldn't say that now because it's pretty much the Lions right now. So yeah, Bengals gonna prove they rule the AFC jungle. Going Bengals.
Bengals easily. The Jaguars are just little. They should just rename themselves to the Jacksonville Cute Cuddly Kitties.
Kitty cats.
Next up, the San Diego Chargers at the Miami Dolphins.
You knew what I said. I think it was in the last recording, but I saw the Chargers at the Dolphins in 1982 playoffs divisional match. That was a great game, and this one's going to play exactly like it. It's kind of a shootout. One's going to make a come from behind near win, and that's going to be the Chargers. Still holding off with the win. It's going to be the Chargers taking it. Sorry, Dolphins. I want you to win, but after looking at your tough schedule, I don't think you're getting in the AFC wild card anymore.
And an easy one for me to pick because overall, the better offense, better defense is the San Diego Chargers. Just overall, just a better team.
Actually, I think the Dolphins have the better defense, but it's not enough to stop Phillip Rivers.
I mean, it's more like splitting hairs between the Dolphins and Chargers defense, really.
Yeah. Let's go to the next team.
Oh, here we go. The greatest game of all time. The Washington football team at the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, God. You know what would suck? If both the Eagles and the Cowboys lose these games, suddenly the Giants and the Redskins are back in it. So, I actually think the Redskins are going to pull out of it somehow. Especially, I think Colt McCoy. I didn't say this earlier, but I am so proud. I like Colt McCoy. I think he's a great one.
RG3 is in line to start this
The
game.
funny thing is, the coach said something like an asshole would do and say, if you keep asking about him, I might just put Colt McCoy out instead. Oh, that coach is a troll. I like him already. But I got the Redskins.
I'm going Washington football team as well. Selfish reasons, I don't want to see the Vikings win even though they're not a threat.
You should be hoping for...
Next up.
Go on. Go.
St. Louis Rams St. Louis Rams at the San Fran
You
49ers.
couldn't beat them at home. You're not going to beat them at their place. Levi Stadium is now their new place, and they're going to settle in a little more by taking
Uh-oh.
you and hanging them on their wall. 49ers.
Oh, man. And I am going to go 49ers. I just don't see how the Rams are going to do anything.
Yep. Oh, good one. There's a good one right here, Bill.
Next up, Denver Broncos at New England.
Okay. I know this is going to be a potential AFC Championship match, but this time I'm still sticking with the Patriots. Peyton's playing on another world, but now Tom Brady is right there on his, and I think Brady is going to do well at Foxborough. It's going to be a high-scoring game, but you just Brady to Gronk touchdown, end it.
Oh, man. I can see this game going like 51-48, like last year's Broncos Cowboys game. And I feel like that's going to be about the score that's going to win it. I feel it's going to be the Denver Broncos barely squeaking out a win against the New England Patriots.
Ugh. I mean, I don't think I won't be surprised if this is literally 50-50 split with audiences. Can't blame anyone, really.
And here we go. A really great game here. The Oakland Raiders, winless Oakland Raiders, get to play the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle.
No, Raiders, they have no hope. Raiders, God. I'm so sorry, Raiders, with the Seahawks. They don't even need to get your number to win. This is at home. They're going to rebound. They need this win. They know it. They're just gonna take care of business.
And I am going Seattle Seahawks, and the Raiders. They'll feel like they've just fallen into a black hole of noise after that.
Ugh,
Good Lord.
Poor guys.
Next up, the Sunday night game, the Baltimore Ravens at the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh man, Bill, I just don't know who to pick. Bill, I'll let you pick. Go first.
Okay, I feel like this game is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
Isn't every Ravens-Steelers game?
And I feel that at the end of this bloodbath, it's going to be the Ravens winning like a 13-10 game.
It's going to be that low scoring?
I feel it's going to be a low-scoring, defensive slugfest.
Oh man, I'm saying it's going to be a little more high scoring. I think it's going to go past 30 for both of them. I've got a 37, 34, ugly numbers, I know. And guess who's going to be on top? Barely scraping it, they're still in it, the Steelers.
Oh, damn!
I don't know if you call it an upset, because it's just after seeing that game, I'm convinced the Steelers can beat the Ravens.
Then, the Monday night game, the team that got embarrassed last week by the Steelers, the Indianapolis Colts, playing in New York against the New York Giants.
Like I said, if the Cowboys and the Eagles lose their games, all of a sudden the Washington football team and the Giants are in it. If that happens, the Giants are going to try and pull an upset, but even so, it's just too tall an order. Colts going to take care of business and rebound. They're suddenly still in the lead in their AFC division.
I feel like the Colts are really ticked off after last week and getting embarrassed. And I feel like Andrew Luck and them are going to embarrass the New York Giants.
All right.
And I feel like Tom Coughlin's going to get fired after that game.
Okay, Bill, before we go, we need to do the next Thursday game since we didn't do this one.
Yep, I'm going over there right now. Okay, the next Thursday night game is the Cleveland Browns at the Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh God, no! I'm gonna like this one, but at the same time, no. Oh, poor Bengals. They're gonna lose, or not Bengals. Poor Browns. They're gonna lose this, and then out comes Johnny Manziel. The wait's over. Maybe. And I've got the Bengals.
I've got the Cincinnati Bengals beating the Cleveland Browns. I don't see how I can see how Cleveland can beat them.
I
I
don't think
just
they'll beat them at their place. Maybe when they come back, when they come
not.
to Cleveland, yes.
I mean, really, Cleveland's only a half game out of first place in the division right
And
now.
they just need to beat the Bengals. I think really the teams are going to really go 1-1 against each other. I think the AFC North is the most fun to watch. I think they're the division of the year, but I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah. Oh God, I'm liking next week's schedule too, kind of. Not really though. Anyway, so that's it for football talks. Bill, do you have anything else you'd like to note?
Okay.
Oh God, Bill, the Skype call. Oh God, the Skype call is lagging.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. The Skype call lagged. I don't know if you've heard what I said, but I said that was it for football talks. Anything else you'd like to note, Bill?
Not really.
All I'm noting is that I'm pissed that I still that video mess that we didn't record my audio, my voice. Oh well, but you know, I mean, I still like what we talked about. At least after that, once we got past that 13-minute hurdle, it was nice recording. So yeah, next week we'll hopefully record on time before Thursday night's game. That's assuming Bill will be around, but anyway, I think I've said it to Bill already, but I'll say it here. I'm not getting a new headset. I get a new headset back until the 12th of December. So yeah, get used to the crappy one. But hey, I'm not letting the podcast die. So yeah, feel free to share your thoughts, put some pics in the comments, and yeah, we'll see you guys next week in week 10, where we start making our playoff predictions. Get excited, I know I am. See you guys next week.